My name is Dr.Akhil Damodaran, and I'm the co-founder of LTDM and also the Dean of ILM University. So basically in the morning I teach, and in the evening I work for my startup for blockchain. Today here, we are sitting here, I want to share with you a kind of a landscape which is going to happen in the next decade. A kind of a technological change which you have never imagined. A kind of a technological ecosystem which we all will be swimming in, especially the people who are the next generation. To understand that particular technological ecosystem shift, you have to retrospectively understand what has happened in the past. So if you look at the last decade, especially the 5 years, the most important trigger of shift in business which happened was the COVID. And COVID literally shifted the whole ecosystem of business, and they realized that digitalization has become a priority. There is no way any business can think a world without technology. They have to be part of the technology. The reason is, first of all, they realize that it's important to have automation so that physical spaces, there is no requirement of people to interact physically. So that it's important to have, if there's another pandemic, at least people are prepared for it, at least a business perspective. Most of these, the ecosystems of business should have a backup in which the technology can take a forefront if the humans are not available. With this premise, technology became most of the investment in the last 5 years. But if you look at the last 5 years, huge amount of technologies have come up. I mean, you name it, from quantum computing to blockchain to AI and digitalization, etc., etc. But I think there are three main factors which has come out. The first is the blockchain, the second is the metaverse, and the third is the artificial intelligence. I mean, there is no doubt that some way or the other, these three are going to lead the way in the next 10 years. To understand exactly why these three are related and why it is important to understand that these three are going to lead the way, we have to understand what is the concept of these technologies are. For people who don't know blockchain, just to give a slight understanding it, you have to understand how the internet works. So internet in general perspective, when you're sending a data from one place to another through internet, generally what it does is it copies the data from one place to another. Okay, so if you are transferring a file, it's actually not transferring file, it is copying the file from your destination to the other person's destination. That's it. Look at it from the money perspective. If I'm transferring money from internet, by that definition, I'm copying the money from my place to the other person. So my money is still with me. That's called double spending problem. To avoid that problem, what internet does is, it puts a middleman in between. Now this middleman is the bank. So what it does is, it does the verification for you, the credit and debit, everything, that's called ledger. So the whole record keeping is actually done by bank. That's why you get SMS from banks when you do the internet transaction, that the money is debited or credited in your account. It is not the internet itself which does the transfer. In 2008 crisis, which economic crisis happened, at that time, Satoshi Nakamoto came out with a paper, and the concept of decentralized ledger came out. That why there should be a centralized way of controlling the whole transaction, let's have a decentralized way of doing transaction. So in a nutshell, what blockchain does is, it's a record-keeping ledger. Every transaction is completely recorded without anybody's, any human interference or any other technological interference. It is by itself. And it is completely decentralized. I mean, the copy of the ledger goes to each and every PC who is part of that blockchain. So there is no way you can change the ledger at all, because everybody has the same copy without being controlled by a central authority. And the good part of this blockchain was, it also has a token mechanism, which we call here as the cryptocurrency. So in a way, the blockchain is able to do the currency transfer. It also has a record keeping tool. And somehow the world changed after that, and people realized maybe the education credentials, medical certificates, pharmaceutical companies, medical devices, everything can use this blockchain, because there's no middleman required, and everything can be completely recorded, and it's completely immutable. So that's the first premise of what blockchain is. And every image, everything goes inside blockchain is completely owned by the person who has created it. That's how the NFTs have come up. Well, that's worked out for almost 5 to 6 years. When COVID hit us, people realized that somehow work from home or not physically present in the business ecosystem and still the business runs is also an important priority. And that's how the virtual world has come out. And people realize that maybe we need to have a virtual world in which people can interact with each other socially, business-wise. All the technologies can merge inside it, and people don't need to go to the office for that. And it all triggered again when Facebook renamed itself as Meta. And they realized maybe the next generation of social networking is possible. And that's how Metaverse coming. But that's not all. It hyped in 2021 and almost early 2022. And in 2022 December, ChatGPT comes in. And when ChatGPT comes in, the whole focus went from blockchain to Metaverse to AI. Now what is AI? It is nothing but exactly what the human brain does, automation. But it learns by itself. So that's the reason why AI has become such a predominant thing. It has the capability to learn from its environment, its daily usage, and the way the data is given to it. That's how the AI came in. But the point is, somewhere we have to realize, in spite of so much projection that this whole ecosystem is going to be more than $8 to $9 trillion in the next coming decade, we don't see anything on ground. We see that the attention to these technologies in the last decade has shifted so much. It started with blockchain. It peaked up so much in 19 when the cryptocurrency Bitcoin was at the highest. And then Metaverse took the focus. And from there, the focus went to AI. And it was never, and such a tectonic shift was never seen before. To understand what the future looks like, I think we have to retrospectively again see how the internet evolved. And to make sure this confusion is completely out, let us ask the question, what makes a technology great? A technology is not great because the technology has features. The technology is great when it creates a revolutionary product for the consumer. So for the people to understand, internet was not popular. It was Amazon which was popular. It was Facebook which was popular. It was Google which was popular. Who used the internet for the products they have created, which revolutionized the way the consumer saw things around them. And that's how people realized that there's a new internet world for them. That is what's missing at this moment. So how to make sure these technologies are going to do the same thing? I think what we need to do is, we have to change the lens in which we are looking at these technologies. And what we need to do is, combine all of them together and see from a one frame. So your internet becomes the base layer by which all the data and everything is coming up. Apart from that, the above layer is blockchain, which is a governing layer. Your whole virtual currency, the whole policies, everything will be part of the blockchain because this is going to be the governing layer. Top of it will be the metaverse, in which the virtual world, graphics, everything will be handled well. Apart from the top of it will be AI, which is going to enhance the consumer experience by taking out the data and everything which is coming out to all the layers, all the 3 layers below. So what the world will look like? Let us imagine. Let us imagine that a small painter in Kerala, somewhere in the village, he does a very good painting, how much money he can make? He may have maximum go to a market which is maybe in the border of Kerala or maybe maximum to Karnataka. And how much money he will be making? I think what you should look at is in a different way, the lens. The lens is, imagine that the same paintings of the painter is now created into digital artifacts and then we are putting it into Metaverse. They have a complete gallery inside Metaverse. Globally, you can watch it from anywhere. You can buy those digital artifacts. Because of blockchain, once the painting has been bought by somebody, the money will directly go to the painter's account. No middleman required. Imagine the kind of market it can create for him. Imagine the government can create a public-private partnership inside Metaverse. In the sense, they can have all the historical monuments and the heritage monuments. They can create a digital artifacts of it. Looks exactly immersive as possible. People can go inside it, visit the place, pay the money for it. The money will directly go to the development of or reconstruction of the physical monument in the real world. And everything is completely transparent because of blockchain. No way the money can be diverted. Imagine the other way around. That you are watching your movie, you're booking your movie on a theater, you don't need to go to theater, just put the VR glass and you can actually watch the movie most immersively possible, much, much greater than what a theater can give you. And the money goes to theater. Because of blockchain, you're paying the fee. And there's no third party or middleman required. Transparently give and take between both the consumers and the producer. Completely fine. Imagine the way the world will be. I think in the next 10 years, you will see a virtual economy. A place where people will do business, people will do social networking, people will do everything, including college and schools. A lot of classrooms you will see inside a virtual world, where all the learnings can be recorded inside the credential of blockchain, and everything is completely recorded, immutable, and all the everything can be traceable. And what next? Once you remove the VR glass, you will be sitting in your native place with your grandparents. So imagine the whole world in front of you, which is not physically present, but does exactly what the real world does. I think this is the emergence of virtual economy, or what we call as a next iteration of internet. Thank you.